Yo, I know what you're here for. Let's get to that sports talk, baby. And me and Vance are back, baby. Every weekend, baby. 1 p.m. or 6 p.m. We know we got school over here. We know we got a lot going on in life. But today, we got the divisional round just ending last night. We had some good games going on. And now, here, we got the 49ers versus Green Bay. I'm going to let my guy Vance set the floor because he's a good 49ers fan. San Francisco, stand up. What you think about this game, Vance?
In the last 4 minutes, I probably had 3 heart attacks. It was ridiculous. I mean, the one thing with that game, first off, what a game to begin with. Back and forth the entire time, two future franchise quarterbacks going at it. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. You can see them on the screen there. I mean, these guys are.
They went tit for tat. I would say the first half. Yeah, I'm the first half was kind of a little light, but these games get tight. It's playoffs.
I think the thing with that was Green Bay fans, as much as I don't have a problem, like a really good friend of mine's a Green Bay fan. I think that kicker, we always hear those jokes about, the kicker will be out of a job. I think that kicker's still a good kicker. I mean, he missed 1 field goal, but so did ours. So, I mean,
yeah, bro.
they missed a field goal, but so did our kicker.
Yeah, exactly. But Carlson, I feel like the guy, if you got a head coach that's saying, I'm praying before he gets out there, it's not a lot of confidence what you got in yourself when you go out there kicking the football. But if you're a head coach and you know you didn't have this problem all season, why not try? You signing people practice squad. Dalvin Cook just signed to a practice squad with the Ravens. We'll get to him in a second. Why couldn't you find a little kicker here and there and try to give him some pressure on his back so he can make these field goal kicks in? I don't think it came down to that, though, and I feel like you can agree with me that that's not the only thing.
So, yeah, I think what it came down to was, I think we saw what a lot of people had held against 13, which was he can't win without Deebo Samuel, and he proved that that's just not the case. Deebo Samuel got hurt in the first quarter, barely played any of the game. I think he jacked his shoulder again, which when he got hurt earlier in the year, that he jacked his shoulder. So he proved he doesn't need Deebo to win, because everything I hear about the guy being the last pick, everything's held against him. I hear all the time he can win without C-Mac, he can win without Deebo, he can win without Trent Williams. Well, in my opinion, the most dangerous player in football with the football in his hands is Deebo Samuel, and you didn't have him. Yeah. And he drove you down the field and won you the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't like to hear. So he proved you wrong. My thing for people that are still Brock doubters, he proved you wrong. Just let him have this one. I understand he was the last pick. as you and I both know, you can't pick where you're drafted. You can't pick where you're drafted. You just can't. So he proved people wrong. Yet there's still he's made his second straight NFC Championship game, and there's people still doubting this kid.
Talk your stuff.
I don't get it. Maybe it's not for me to get.
About it. 49ers fan over there passionate about it. You gotta keep your receipts out there.
Saying, hold on. Maybe I'm saying maybe it's not for me to get. Maybe it's not for me to understand, because I know how good this kid is because I've watched him all year. He's also, I don't mean to get too in the weeds here. He's also very religious, which is something I can relate to, and I feel like that's a great thing that to have in his back pocket because every time he's on an interview, same thing with CJ Stroud, they're always talking about the man above, giving them all this, they're like, this is not me. I'm just doing it for his kingdom. So, I mean, that's part of it. But for me, especially this game yesterday, did I think Green Bay would have a shot? No. Not only was I proved wrong, but Green Bay showed me they're going to be here for a long time. They're not going anywhere. What about you?
Exactly. Green Bay, they really showed me that they done it without Aaron Rodgers. I thought this franchise was going to plummet. Jordan Love didn't really look like the quarterback he was supposed to be when he was out there. They were started the season 2-8, starting the season some record like that. They wasn't that good. They wasn't that good starting the season. Then if they finish off losing only one game, winning a playoff game, winning 9 in a row, winning a playoff game. Jordan Love, he got the pocket presence like an Aaron Rodgers, and he balled out in this game.
Let me ask you something.
Got to give it to him.
If that man had a number 12, you would think he's Aaron Rodgers. That man, the arm slots, the way the touch, the way he throws at the arm slots. He had a 12, you think that's Aaron Rodgers right there.
That is the replacement of Aaron Rodgers, and we just got to deal with it. Green Bay got their another quarterback of the future. They got what Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love. The man has won you a playoff game when nobody thought you would be here. Just like the Texans, when nobody thought you would be here, you went on a stretch at the end of the season, and you left some doubters shocked. Winning the game and like the Cowboys with that top offense and Dak Prescott having a somewhat MVP year. Defense that Michael Parsons, Bland, he has the record with the most pick sixes, and you knock off a team like that and run them over like that, and you had a big chance in this game to beat the 49ers. Remember, only 0-30 coming into this game, trailing by 5 in the fourth quarter, and you were trailing by 5. 1-30 now, pulling off this game with the 49ers, but you don't have that type of luck going in the fourth quarter. Brock Purdy, he has a problem with throwing a wet ball. Not trying to go against the man, but he's throwing into pockets where you really could have had a pick six in that game, another pick, another two of them.
But Jordan Love had to play in it too, though. Remember?
Yeah. He had to play in it too. But Brock Purdy at points in time, he was making mistakes. Jordan Love.
Maybe you could find it for the next one. Maybe you can find it for the next one we do. There was a clip I saw of Brock Purdy mid-drop. He was like, he takes his right hand, wipes it on his pants, then grips the ball again. Mid-drop. It was craziest thing. Like I maybe you could find that clip. Like he's holding the ball with his left hand, right hand comes off the laces, wipes his hand and throws it. I was like, what are we like? That is ridiculous.
Yeah. And
then he delivers a strike to Juwan Jennings.
It's a wet ball game.
I will say there was more passing than I thought there would be. There was much more passing than I thought there was going to be. Much more.
I mean, I knew it was going to be a bunch of passing because we got Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan out there. They're going tit for tat out there.
But
they're not going to mess around with the running game. Even though Aaron Jones had a big game.
Yeah,
18 carries for 108 yards. Big game for Aaron Jones. And he had a big game against the Cowboys last week. Yeah, he had a good. The running game has been efficient for Jordan Love in Green Bay, and then getting Jordan Love to make absolutely amazing dimes around to wide receivers out there. Really, who's on their wide receiver core? These guys.
I'll word it like this.
The thing.
I'll word it like this. I thought the passing game was going to be existent, but that much kind of surprised me. I was pleasantly surprised because it was coming down in Santa Clara. I was too.
It really was. It was coming down.
I think this was the game. I think this was the only game this year I've seen that I don't think Christian McCaffrey was the best running back on the field. I thought Aaron Jones was just a little better. I mean, that's coming from me. Christian McCaffrey gave us a game-winning touchdown. Yeah, McCaffrey gave us a game-winning touchdown. I thought Aaron Jones had a great game though.
I don't think Christian McCaffrey had say so. I mean, Aaron Jones looked a little bit better. He had some explosive plays, but I wouldn't say he was all the way forefront, the best running back in this game. Christian McCaffrey did get you 2 touchdowns. He had some serious plays in there. Yeah. He scores every touchdown. And what he had about 17 carries, 98 yards. And Aaron Jones, he just had 18 carries, 108 yards. So it's really not off the mark too much. And I don't think Aaron Jones scored a touchdown in that game. He didn't score a touchdown in that game. So you want the 2 touchdowns, 98 yards, 17 carries, or do you want the 18 carries or the 108 yards?
Maybe I'm prisoner of the moment because of the big 53-yarder he had. Maybe that's why. Yeah. That big long run he had.
Yeah, the stats are about similar. And if you're scoring me points and you got the yards, I'd rather you score me points and get almost the same amount of yards. But with the 49ers, they had to pull it off in this game. I mean, you're getting to the point where you need a Super Bowl. You need a Super Bowl. Y'all been in this is your third straight NFC championship. It's time for y'all to. Yeah, 4 and 5 years. 4 and 5 years. So y'all been a dominant team on the NFC side, just like how you got the dominant teams in Kansas City and Buffalo Bills. On that side, y'all really been those type of teams over in the NFC, dominated the last 5 years. Going to the Super Bowl against 2 times, not winning those 2 Super Bowls has been kind of sitting on your heart as a 49ers fan? I know it's been sitting it's been sitting there. I know it's been you ready for the actually grasp the trophy. It's no point because sometimes you get a team like we'll get there, and if you lose, I mean, we got to the Super Bowl, and then you got another team that's like, dude, we done it plenty of times. It's time to grasp it. It's time to. And Kyle Shanahan through the years with the Atlanta Falcons, he should have had another one of those that he had grasped.
Yeah,
it's like when
that's the only thing he doesn't
bro,
have. So, Coach of the Year, great players,
exactly.
great quarterbacks. The only thing he doesn't have are these things right there.
Exactly. You get it right there, Kyle Shanahan. I know he's desperate for it. He's digging for it. He will beg for it. He will do anything for a Super Bowl at this point because he should have had 3 or 4. The last one with the Kansas City Chiefs, you should have had that one.
10 going into the fourth quarter. You should never lose that game.
Up by 10. And sometimes Kyle Shanahan, the best play caller in the NFL, sometimes that can get in the way of him, and he does a little bit too much. And I know you can feel that sometimes where he does a little bit too much. You should be 98 yards, 17 carries for Christian McCaffrey. That's where you add him in and say, yo, we can start running the ball whenever we want to. Mitchell and those guys, when Christian McCaffrey wasn't on this team, those were good running backs. But where they don't know Christian McCaffrey, no.
You got the better one who I would say is most similar to him before CMC, who was most similar, even though he got hurt a lot, was Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert, he was a dog, and he's with the Miami Dolphins right now. Yeah, he got hurt a lot, and then you got to rely on backup running backs, and now Christian McCaffrey, which was kind of surprising to add to this team, even though he somewhat gets hurt a lot, but he's been most efficient this year, and he's been available, even though in that game he had a little bit something going on with his groin. I mean, not his groin, his hamstring or whatnot. He's still in there running the ball and getting 2 touchdowns.
I think
he's been really efficient for y'all.
I think we proved with CMC that when he has a good O-line, he can stay healthy. I mean, I want you to think about this. He was on your team, so you know what I'm going to say. When you have Trent Williams on the left side, he's basically like a brick wall. You just start running.
Yeah. You just run into that side. And Kyle Shanahan to Trent Williams, I'm not going to say it. Don't want to say it because it really breaks my heart. Their ties run back to Washington. They done been together offensively, and he knows the dog that Trent Williams has in him, and he's the best left tackle or the best tackle you could have in the league as of right now. Trent Williams, all you got to do is run to his side, unless they overload left, and then you got one person to the right that you got to deal with. Then okay, run this side because not all your offensive linemen are bad. Your whole offensive line is damn near decent.
Yeah.
Or even better than one of the best offensive lines I can see in the league. But it starts with a Trent Williams like that on the left side, and then the culture swings. Once you have a stud, Tyron Smith, like the Cowboys, Tyron Smith, when he was healthy, when he was great, it sets the tone for the whole offensive lineman locker room. That's what it starts with. You got a lineman like that.
There's 3 things for me that are very important in football. You need a good quarterback, good left tackle, good edge rusher.
Exactly. And
this
game,
the person we're about to bring on, this team has it. The guy we're going to bring on, his team absolutely has that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and switch it on. We got the Ravens going on here. Let's get our boy in here. Devin, welcome to the stream. Raven Flock, divisional part 1 done. You head on to the AFC Championship. You head on to the AFC Championship, and I just want your feeling on how it feels to make it to the AFC Championship and potentially win the Super Bowl.
It feels great. It's been a long time. 2012, first appearance. We got it done.
Yeah, bro.
Thanks for that.
Especially the playoff failures and stuff that's been going on. Last year, Lamar didn't play. Then the year before, we didn't make the playoffs. Year before, they lost in the divisional round.
Yeah, bro. Y'all been that same team that's been there. Like I said, There's no shots. You put you at like a Buffalo Bills. You got all this potential around. You got all these star players around. Even though at a certain point we can say Lamar Jackson did not have no receivers on that team. I don't know what were they doing for the couple years. Yeah, we cannot say that anymore. He has the pieces around him now fully, and you could and we can look back at the past and say if you would have got him some receivers like y'all did this year, he maybe could have already had a Super Bowl. He might have could have already been in one or been in the AFC Championship more than times than not. So with the Ravens so far, can we see this rematch going on? You know, we might can see the 49ers. You see the 49ers, Vance 49ers. Maybe we get the Super Bowl 47 going back. How do y'all feel about that? We can start with Devin. Would you want to see that matchup again? You remember the lights went out.
Right. Yes. I would love to see that matchup. I think it'll be a great matchup.
But you're not ducking smoke. Nope. Yeah, you're not ducking. Ravens flock is not ducking no smoke, and that's facts.
But it's one game at a time.
Yeah, one game at a time. Oh
yeah,
you're the first. You know what? You know what? That's the Ravens flocking you one game at a time because you got to take it one game at a time.
I just want to say, Devin, I love how you go. It's been a long time since 2012. For my team, it's been since 1994. So you think you've had it long? We haven't won since '94.
Yeah, bro. It's a lot of teams that got to the one.
We lost to you.
But
I know I hate what ifs, but I've said this. I think if Alex Smith plays that game, I think the outcome may be a little different. I don't know. That power outage obviously didn't help, but I mean, I would love to play them again because not only do I think
Kaepernick was on a tear though. Kaepernick was on a tear. Don't do Kaepernick like that. He was on a tear though. I thought he was better than Alex Smith. He was better than Alex Smith.
Alex Smith was before he got hurt. Alex Smith was an MVP candidate that year. Before he got hurt.
He crazy. What?
Okay.
Come on, man.
I don't appreciate that for one reason.
I'm gonna listen to you.
Because before he got hurt, he was on a tear. Alex Smith was an MVP candidate that year. How do you just Kaepernick was good, but if you have an MVP level player that year, I mean,
I think Kaepernick like RG3, and some of y'all might agree with it. Agree with this out there. Devin Vance might agree with this out there. They came in the league too early with running the football. You still got Peyton Manning in that league. You got Joe Flacco you going up against. You got Phillip Rivers, all these type of pocket guys in the league that's still at the top of their game. And when you get a running type quarterback in there and you got all these pocket quarterbacks, offensive coordinators ain't used to it. We seen the argument with RG3 and Jay Gruden here earlier about how he wasn't prepared to coach a type of quarterback like that to run the football out the pocket. And I think Colin Kaepernick, he was a certain player like that. Maybe it was just too much for him at a certain point, and they got Alex Smith back in there and the type of pocket quarterback because they still had Alex Smith for a little while.
I think these two teams playing each other just makes too much sense. And I say that with all respect, because not that I don't think Kansas City or Buffalo could beat Baltimore, that I don't think maybe my team could lose to Tampa or Detroit. I just think these are the two best teams, and they've clearly kind of separated themselves, both number one seeds. But the reason I think the Baltimore game, I've said, Devin, before the year I said I think it's going to happen again, even though we lost, was because as someone who knows football like you two do, when you have a bad game, you kind of want to play that team again to show that that was a one-time fluke game. I want to play you again, not because I want to get 4 picks again, but because I want Brock to show, hey, I can beat these guys. That was just one thing. That's not me. That's not who I am. I think he kind of proved that yesterday.
Yeah.
But that's not who he is.
For sure.
But I will say that 14 on your defense, that dude is like that dude is a prowler. 14 is everywhere. Kyle Hamilton. He's everywhere.
Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, Kyle Hamilton is that dog. And it's a lot of dogs on this team when we get back to the quarterback. And Lamar Jackson, could he win MVP this year? We got him winning MVP.
Yeah.
Will Lamar win MVP?
There's basically 3 guys. Lamar's going to win it. Josh Allen's going to be in there, and Brock Purdy's going to be in there. Those are the 3. Those are the 3. So. Lamar's probably going to win it.
I think he's going to win for sure. Because think about it, our team without him, you talking about 5 wins, 6 wins.
I think
Yeah.
the game against the Niners sealed it for him because what do we hear, Devin, before that game? What do we hear? The winner of this game, the quarterback wins MVP. We heard that.
Yeah, we kept hearing
your guy proved it, my guy didn't.
Right.
The winner of that game was going to win MVP. Yep. That's just how it was.
But somebody who did have a good game that game, Christian McCaffrey. He was doing good.
I want to ask something. Why do you guys feel this is? I have my input on it. I want to hear yours though. Adrian Peterson, last non-quarterback to win MVP. Why do we have a problem in the NFL of giving it to a non-quarterback? I get that quarterbacks do everything. I understand
Let me step in on
but Adrian Peterson, great player. Christian McCaffrey had a record for most games in a row with a touchdown. Also probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year. He's the sole heartbeat of our team. Like, what does this guy need to do to win it?
I think that is a serious problem in this league on how we just got to pick quarterback, because quarterback is the most important spot on the team. If you don't have no quarterback, you ain't winning, period. I mean, you might get lucky here and there bringing in a Nick Foles, and he might get you a run, and you might just get lucky with a but anytime else you get a backup quarterback, your team is done, and that's it. But when you got a Tyreek Hill going for the wide receiver record, almost beating Calvin Johnson's record in a whole season, if he would have played that, I think he was out with a certain type of injury in the game, he could have broke the record. You got Christian McCaffrey with all type of records, and we saying Derrick Henry shouldn't have won it one time back when he was rushing for 200 yards in playoff games. He should have got at least a Madden cover. Like, what are we doing with that? And then you got so many, you got so many players out there that are valuable, but when it comes down to it, I guess it's just the analytics people, all the people out there just feel like the quarterback has to get the trophy every year. Maybe it's a different era in time. Can we move on from that certain point in time and just give it to somebody else if they're playing better? If the quarterback's playing better and he's valuable and stuff like that, I get it. But when a man is going for almost 2,000 yards in a season, you got to at least put him up at top 3.
Like, my thing, I look at it, how I look at it is like this with McCaffrey, right? Like, look at last year. Who won MVP? Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson.
Exactly.
So, Offensive Player of the Year and MVP, last time I checked, quarterbacks play offense. So, if you're clearly the best offensive player, why don't you win both? Like, I've never understood that. Why do we have to make MVP a quarterback award, but Offensive Player of the Year can be like Justin Jefferson? I like Justin Jefferson. He's a kid's a beast. He's ridiculous. Right. But if you're the best offensive player, shouldn't you win both? Like, I don't know where the disconnect is. McCaffrey's the best player to me in football. To me, in all of football, he's the best player, but he's not going to win MVP. He'll win Offensive Player of the Year. Where's the disconnect? I don't understand it. And maybe I never will. Maybe it's just me being a 49er fan with bias. I just don't get it.
I think this might be somewhat of the disconnect, is that valuable in there. How valuable is that position? If you lose this player, will your team plummet? So it's some sort of situations out there where you still got your starting quarterback in Patrick Mahomes and you don't got no Tyreek no more, and you go and win a Super Bowl. Don't you got to win MVP? You lost your top quarter. You lost your top wide receiver. Was your wide receiver that valuable? And we proved it no. Kansas City proved it no. That Tyreek Hill wasn't that valuable to a certain point to Patrick Mahomes, even though they lost him because they won a Super Bowl. So it might come down to that.
I can give the same reason for Christian McCaffrey, though. I can give the same reason. We lost 3 games in a row. We didn't have McCaffrey in any of them. Yeah. We lost 3 games in a row. We had McCaffrey for 0 games. I was at the first game. We lost to the Browns. I was at that game in person. McCaffrey scored a touchdown in the first quarter, then went out the rest of the game. We didn't win. McCaffrey showed to me that he's the best player in football for that reason. When you can't win without a guy, that's pretty valuable. Lamar's going to win it, and he deserves it. But for me, when you can't win without a guy, he's pretty valuable.
Yeah, because you seen how my team looks without him. Like, what was it, like 2 years ago when he went down with that injury with his ankle? We lost like 5-6 straight games and missed the playoffs.
Right. Yep. Exactly. And then We see that Huntley play. Huntley might have. What if he would have crossed over? He got to win, but it just didn't go that way. And Lamar would have scored that play. We're not saying Lamar going over the line and not getting his touchdown. Lamar's going over that line and getting that touchdown. That's what it comes down to.
And what I'll say about MVP when it comes to wide receivers, I feel like you got to look their receiving yards. Who's throwing them the football? You got to put their quarterback in the MVP talk too, because otherwise they wouldn't be getting the ball. But when it comes to
that's a very good point.
When it comes to running back, you're just handing the ball off. Anybody can hand the ball off. So when it comes to McCaffrey, I believe he's up there in the talk.
He should be up there. They're just not going to give it to him. Like
he
Cooper Kupp,
he definitely should be up
2 years ago. Cooper Kupp on the receiving triple crown, yards, touchdowns, receptions. He got distant third in MVP voting, and he won the triple crown. Like, are we putting too much stock in quarterbacks?
I think it is way too much stock.
What do you think, Devin?
I think, yeah.
What do you think, Devin? Do you think we're putting too much stock in quarterbacks being MVPs?
Right. I believe
What do you think? You think so? Yeah.
I think so. Like, look at like some years back with Derrick Henry. He should have won one.
Probably.
He should have won
100%.
one. He should have won one. And
or like you said, at least a Madden
divisional game. Yeah. At least a Madden cover. You think Derrick Henry should have had a Madden cover, bro? Come on, bro. What are we doing? I feel like soon as OBJ or a type Justin Jefferson comes out, they get the dances going. They automatically the Madden cover. But we waiting on this NCAA. We waiting on that to come out. They were supposed to drop the visuals and or to drop the release date on the I think it was the national championship commercial. That never came out. They hidden the GTA. When are you gonna come out? So back to the game. How are we feeling going into halftime in this game? Little bit of a struggles here and there, and being a team that had a chance after chance of getting into these games and taking rest. Remember, y'all had a bye week before. Y'all done had this rest coming out of here and then coming into games slow, and you get the naysayers out there that are talking about, oh, they might lose this game. How were you feeling going into halftime? Were you mad, or were you still resting on things because it was halftime?
I was mad, but I was like, we are rusty. Like, our starters was out for like 2 weeks. We had some starters in against the Steelers, but not everybody. And going into halftime, I was like, what's going on? The offensive line not picking up blocks.
Not picking up blocks, not doing things well. Like I said, rusty.
And our defense kept, kept showing why they're the number one defense, kept stopping the Texans. And then when it was the second half,
your mic, I think your mic is muted, big dog. But you can keep going, Devin. What were you talking about?
Like Kyle Hamilton, like that. You're like you mentioned your defense real quick, Devin. Like Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, those boys. They're literally like alligators. Like they just fought, like what, like they find you. It's the crazy, like that. It's ridiculous.
And with Kyle Hamilton, it's like when it comes to the position he plays, he's not a safety. You ask him to go.
What does he say?
And play corner, then he could play corner. You want him to play as a safety, he could play safety. You want him to play linebacker, it's like you don't know what his position is because how good he is.
He like a way better Isaiah Simmons. You remember Isaiah Simmons had the hype of be playing any type of position, and what has he done? I ain't heard his name called since he been drafted. So Hamilton, he grew when he came in the league, but Isaiah Simmons, not to shoot shots like that, he didn't grow. So
I think the thing with this Ravens team that I've watched is I'm an Ohio State guy, so I like CJ Stroud, but I picked you guys to win because duh. The one thing I took from that game is when Lamar settles in, there's about 5 to 6 plays every game that he makes that I know you see it, Devin. You're just like, how the hell did he do that?
Right. It is. And it's crazy. But what's crazy is it's like I'm spoiled to it. Like, I'm so used to seeing it. Like, he just makes plays out of anything. Like, you think he's sacked Nah,
I remember, especially like against the Niners. I remember the game. Chase Young and Nick Bosa are running at him from both sides. This dude runs backwards, gets out of it, touching in the end zone to, what's his name?
To
Zay
Gus
Flowers.
Edwards.
Yeah,
or
Gus
Zay
Edwards. Yeah.
Flowers.
I think it was one of those two.
It was Isaiah Likely.
Both our edge rushers are running at the guy. He runs backwards, scampers out, throws up. I'm like, any other quarterback's getting sacked. Any other quarterback, that's a 10-yard loss, and this dude just running around.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I don't know how y'all go back to a regular style quarterback, like, and just
they've won with him, Joe Flacco. They've won with a guy like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They won with a guy like that, but when you spoil with a talent like running with your legs like that fast and with an arm, Joe Flacco was boring at this point. Like, are we really like Joe? Even though he had a good season, I'm not gonna do Joe Flacco like he's just no bad quarterback. He did kind of revive his career. He would be potentially. I think he'll still be a backup in this league again somewhere else. Don't know if it's with the Browns. He stayed with the Browns, but Lamar Jackson running with his legs like that, throwing on a dime to Zay Flowers and Bateman, guys like that having good games. And you add Dalvin Cook on that back end. Dalvin Cook looking nice. How you think about Dalvin Cook in this next game coming up?
Yeah, that big one he had. Yeah, I seen some potential.
Yeah, y'all. Melvin Gordon is done. Melvin Gordon is done.
We got rid of him. We cut him.
Yeah,
yeah, we cut him. We cut him this week.
I know. That's why I said Melvin Gordon is done. He didn't had his last position in the league right there. Because remember, Melvin Gordon was. I wouldn't say he was a top running back. He had no 1,000-yard seasons like that. I think he had 1,000-yard season, but he was overhyped running back coming out the league. You know what I'm saying? Coming into the league, we think he's gonna be good. We thinking that he was gonna be like running backs like Leonard Fournette.
We thought he would be who Derrick Henry is.
Yeah, like he became a Leonard Fournette.
Yes,
that's what he became. He became a Leonard Fournette.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm sorry.
Because we're going to go talk about the game today. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You're a Raven fan, obviously. So both our teams are at 1 seed, so we're very confident. I'll ask it like this. I'll answer it, but I want you to go first. I'll answer the question, though. Who would you rather not play, the Bills or the Chiefs? Who do you want to play less in the next round?
That's a good question.
It is good. To me, it doesn't matter. I see any of them, but if you was to ask me, I'd say I wouldn't want to see Patrick Mahomes. You know, he been there. He done
had y'all number. He done had y'all number.
So does Josh, though, because I mean, so you don't know this, Devin, but there's a couple things in this world that he and I don't tolerate. Dino does not tolerate any Kirk Cousins slander. I don't tolerate Josh Allen or Jimmy Garoppolo slander, because the last time, if I'm not mistaken, the last time you guys played Josh Allen, he beat you, right?
Yeah, he did.
I think it'll be different this year, but what I will say is Josh Allen can run. He's not Lamar. He can't run like Lamar, but the arm is the equalizer, because if they're going to be playing in Baltimore, it'll be cold. He knows the cold. There's no wrong answer here. I would just say, I think, if I'm being completely honest, I think Josh Allen gives you a better challenge, because Kansas City, yes, they're a good team. They're defending champions, but Dino knows this too. They drop the ball way too much for me to trust them.
They really do.
You're right.
No one can deny that. They're a great team, but they drop the ball way too much.
I was just about to get into that.
And then
we're gonna get Devin go.
And then with Josh Allen, you know, he's not scared to run. He runs. He tries to run guys.
He'll run through you.
And tackling has to be sharp.
Don't nobody want to tackle that. Don't nobody want to tackle that.
He's 6'6", 330. No one wants to tackle that guy.
Right. I seen it during the Steelers game last week. That touchdown run he had.
I remember I saw a funny video of the center Mitch Morse. He's like, he snapped the ball and he goes, "We're begging that kid to slide." And then you just see him break a tackle. He's like, go, go, go. They're like, that's funny, like the tension and emotion of it. Get down, dude. Oh, wait, no, you're good.
Yeah.
Like, I think Josh Allen.
Y'all want to verse a team like that. Y'all want to verse a team like Kansas. I think this is y'all time to beat a Kansas City team like this. And why they vulnerable like this, because they is a vulnerable team. Travis Kelce can only do so much. You got linebackers, you got Hamilton to put over top of a Travis Kelce, and you can tell your DBs to play one-on-one against. I know Darius Toney, he's out. You got what wide receivers they got on that team? Really, who?
They got
name
that dude Rice.
Name
Rashid Rice.
Rashid.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tripping.
I'm
tripping. Rashid's nice. He
he's
potentially
nice.
he didn't got his
I think
potential
it
had went up
shows-
through the roof.
I think it's showing they're missing Juju big time.
No. Juju, he ain't do nothing good. Nah, Juju's done.
I don't know.
Nah, Juju's done. Juju's done. I'm
say
done. Nah, Juju since the TikTok download, since the TikTok release has been done, even though he stopped dancing. Even though he stopped dancing,
when he started
What I'm just trying to
on
say
logos, I don't know.
Yeah, what I'm just trying to say is, I don't. What I'm trying to say is, do you guys think they would have this many drops if he was there? Be honest with yourself. You know, honestly, be honest with yourself. Would they have this many drops if he's there? I don't think they would.
If I'm, like I said, we can agree, we can disagree. I don't think it would be much better. I don't think it would be much better. I think these wide receivers still have a problem dropping the ball. And Kadarius Toney, after the season he had last season, Kadarius Toney was not a bad receiver last season. He coming to this season starting. The thing is, things like that can set the tone for the whole season. When you come out in the first game, and we seen with Branch in the pick 6 with the Lions game, and Kadarius Toney not dropping all these balls to start the season, it could tell a story for the rest of the season, for the rest of the year, and that's what it's been for this whole season. We seen the drop from Scantling. We seen the drop from Scantling in that game, deep ball. That was a terrible drop, and then making mistakes or not line. You can't even line up on the football properly to even get Travis Kelce, a Hall of Fame type player, to make a score.
You look at all their games.
Yeah, go ahead.
You look at all their games. All their losses is due to their receivers. All of them.
That's my point. If they had Juju, I think it might be a little different. Maybe that play with Toney doesn't.
Who knows?
Maybe. Well, my thing is the thing against Buffalo.
Maybe
I think if Juju's there, I don't think Toney's on the field for that play. I think if Juju's there, Toney's not on the field. That doesn't happen. Honestly, I don't. And I don't even like Kansas City. I'm trying to be fair here. But let me ask you a question, because I'm with Devin on one thing. Devin said he wants to play Kansas City because I think his mindset is, and I think I'm the same way. You want to beat the best to be the best. I'm with you on that. I'd much rather play Tampa Bay because we've already beaten them this year. But my team, I don't want to play Detroit because they can absolutely beat us. But if we beat them, we know, hey, we can win this whole thing. We know that.
And you showed it in that Green Bay game.
That team
showed it in that Green Bay.
Especially that Detroit team, they're young with a lot of speed and those 2 running backs. Then you got St. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Dogs.
So what are you so can I get your input, Devin, on the 49er game? What were your thoughts on it?
That game, I thought like y'all started off rusty. Then when it got like in the third quarter, I was like, I don't know. Then your defense was getting stops. Then that missed field goal by the Packers. I sat there and said, yeah. I said Purdy gonna put it on the drive. He gonna show the reason why he's in the MVP talk. And that's what
I also think it's great that because it seems like the 3 of us don't overlook the guy, but I feel like, Tom Brady's, he's not Tom Brady, but this is a prime example. For me, it shouldn't matter in any sport where you're drafted. People just hold against you because you're last. I understand that he was the last pick in the draft. But if you make back-to-back NFC championships, you're not the problem on the team. You're actually the least of the problems. So what Devin said is a very good point. I think you can't hold against him now that he can't win without Debo or CMC because he just did it. And he did it when it mattered. He did it in the playoffs to go to the NFC championship game. When it mattered, he clutched up. Now, I said this, Devin, and you probably heard it while you were just listening. I think Green Bay is going to be good for a very long time. They're a young team with a great quarterback, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. That team's going to be good for quite a long time. Where do you stand on it?
Reed, and they got better quarterbacks.
I believe so too. Jordan Love. Yeah, he's their future guy. And
Yeah,
someone
but
else that's going to be around for a long time, the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, and when he gets Tank Dell
getting
back,
into my
and,
that's my boy Devin. See, that's why
and
my
they're
boy
Nico
and they're
Devin.
and
This
they're
Collins.
is what I
Yeah.
really
wanted to
young.
start talking about.
They're young too, and they're going to be around for a long time.
They're gonna be around for a long time, and that second half and that 34-10 deficit really didn't show the full season. If you were a first person just watching a playoff game and you watching the Texans and you just one of those people out there that just don't watch football, but this time you sat down to watch football and you seen the Texans get blown out, that is not a team. That is not the title of the team for this. That's not the cover. The whole season and CJ Stroud, before the injury, we was talking MVP, and then after the injury, he picked up right off where he left at. If he didn't have that injury and was out in them couple games, he would probably be in the MVP talks with Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy. It just is what it is. You come in after a 3-13 last season to this season, winning a playoff game and going tit for tat with an AFC top of the AFC Baltimore Ravens up until halftime. The defense really, they can only hold for so long. I'm a defensive player. I know what it's like to be on the defense and your offense ain't doing nothing almost a full game. And then eventually we just end up falling apart because your offense, you need to go down and score at least somewhat. You can't be going 4-and-out, 4-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out, and you're not really doing nothing. And the defense is back on the field and they get tired. They start to fall apart. And I think that was the main focus and the reason why that margin was that bad and it coming out in the second half. And we heard Lamar Jackson talk about going into halftime, cussing up a storm. He's in there. I know he mad. He want this game bad, and he gotta come through with his promise. You heard him in the draft. They're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. And I think this year, y'all got the highest chances through the NFC and the AFC to be in the Super Bowl. But any team at any given time can lose a game. So, like Devin said, game by game.
Right. And
Can
another
I
thing
can
about
I
that
say something here? Go ahead, Devin. Sorry, go ahead, Devin.
another thing about that second half, you seen the difference. Like when they first came out there, Lamar drives the ball right down the field, scores a touchdown, and you could just feel it like the momentum. It was like what was it, the
Yeah,
next two straight drives they scored a touchdown. Like he showed
yeah.
why he's the MVP.
So, Devin, you've seen both teams this year. We're both people I'm going to mention. You've seen them both. Puka Nacua, CJ Stroud. Devin and I have, Dino and I have talked about this. Who do you have at Rookie of the Year? Puka, if he wins it, I'm not against it. I think CJ Stroud should win it. I think Puka will win it.
Y'all are right.
Who do you?
That's difficult.
What do you
That
think?
is a hard one.
That's a
Because
difficult one
I think
because
Puka will win
I'm
it.
gonna have to
CJ should.
to go with Puka.
Puka. There's
Yeah,
no for me. There's
especially
no
why do
wrong
you
after
say
answer.
that, Devin? Why do
No,
you
I
say
want to hear
that, Devin?
because
Why do you say Puka?
I agree with Devin though. There's no wrong answer.
I believe last game for you to almost have 200 receiving
Yeah,
yards in your first playoff game,
that's ridiculous.
and then had 1,400 yards during the regular season as a rookie.
And
Ridiculous.
and shout out to Matthew Stafford because he is a
Yeah,
wide receivers man. If I'm a wide receiver like
I
DeAndre
want to play for
Hopkins,
that
I got
guy.
a diva mentality.
right.
I want to play for you, Matthew Stafford.
Calvin
If I want some
Johnson,
money,
Cooper Cup,
yeah, Calvin
Puka
Johnson, Cooper
Nacua.
Cup, and now Puka Nacua. I want to play for you, Matthew Stafford. So I'm gonna kind of disagree with y'all here. I'm gonna turn the spin here just so we can make it interesting. Even though I this is the truth to me. I think CJ Stroud should get it because of that situation I said with Matthew Stafford. Yeah, you could be a good player, but some quarterbacks can't get to you the ball. But Matthew Stafford, when you on a roll from the beginning of the season, he gonna feed you. And Cooper Cup, for a certain amount of time, he was out for a little bit. And this whole season, Cooper Cup has been inconsistent with being on the field. So it led to Matthew Stafford to have to feed these type of guys and Puka Nacua. And like I said, CJ Stroud through the before the injury started, MVP. We talking MVP, and then he comes in the back, and then his team was 3-13 last season, and to turning around and winning this playoff game. Like I said, I think he should get it.
For me, I'm kind of looking at it like this. I don't know where you stand, Devin. I think there's no wrong answer here.
Right. That's why I said it's a difficult one.
Both win it. I'm looking for them to both win it. There's no wrong answer.
Because with CJ Stroud, let's be real, nobody ain't think they was making the playoffs this year at the beginning of the year.
Nobody.
This was like their rebuild year. This was like their rebuild year.
Didn't.
Like I thought they'd probably get like 5-6 wins.
I agree.
But to be in the divisional round, yeah, it's crazy.
Shout out to also shout out real quick. Shout out to DeMeco Ryans, former 49ers defensive coordinator. He coach of the year, 100%. Coach of the year through and through.
Coach of the year with that rookie quarterback like that, and to say, and Devin can attend to this. 48, that guy Harrison on defense, he was causing problems out there. It's guys out there, Stingley, corner Stingley, he's been great all year. These defensive players started playing at the top level soon as DeMeco Ryans became there, after they've been the worst defense year out through year out without JJ Watt since JJ Watt. This team ain't been decent since JJ Watt. This team wasn't even decent with Deshaun Watson. That's why Deshaun Watson had to go to the Browns to get the $250 million fully guaranteed dumb contract that the Browns signed. And y'all just won 6 straight games, 5 games into going into the playoffs with Joe Flacco. You overpaid Deshaun Watson. I'm just sorry. That is what it is, even though he was doing all right.
So as someone who lives in Northeast Ohio, I want to give an input on that. And if there's any fans listening, I apologize. Devin, I also want your input because you see this team twice a year too. Deshaun Watson, to me, he's a good quarterback. He's not $230 million guaranteed good.
Yeah, he's not. But I know some Browns fans probably gonna be mad about this, but that's how their franchise is. They go. They overpay quarterbacks and stuff, and I don't know. I just think it was just bad. Even when I heard
about them Brown
fans, when it first happened, I was like,
"What?
You don't give them all that money guaranteed." He robbed.
Like I said, Lamar Jackson should have more money than he has.
He does.
Lamar Jackson should have more money than he has. He's more valuable than him.
I look at it like this. That 2018.
What are we looking at?
This is, I don't know what it is, because Devin, I'm from Northeast Ohio, so I see a lot of the stuff with Browns fans. I said to Browns fans in 2018, I said, you're going to regret not drafting Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. They're like, no, we'll be fine. Well, Baker's, not only is he not there, he's now in the playoffs and you're not.
Right.
And I said to him, you're going to regret not taking Lamar or Josh Allen. They're like, no, we'll be fine. Josh Allen and Lamar are still in the playoffs.
And I believe I even said that it was bad when they moved on from Baker Mayfield and end up getting Deshaun Watson. I was like, after one bad season, and he was dealing with injuries. Like he had like a shoulder injury.
He had a torn labrum.
He had like a foot injury, something like that. Yeah,
ankle.
He was injured that whole year.
I look at it like this comes into it.
And I look at it like as well. Like I didn't think they were going to get Deshaun. I honestly thought they were going to get Russell Wilson. I did. I don't know why. Part of me did.
Yeah. And then this is where this comes into it, where sports media could become a problem, and people like Steve, because like Devin said, right after that season, he won you a playoff game. They ready to move on from him. But you got Stephen A. Smith up there talking about he got less wins than commercials and stuff like that. And they put out this persona on Baker Mayfield that he's really a terrible quarterback. And now you see he going to the right franchise who just won a Super Bowl here lately. They developing a quarterback the right way. But Baker Mayfield has settled down, and he doesn't have so much of the bright lights on him. And now he got to show you why the light should be back on Baker Mayfield. And we seen the sniffles. He had the sniffles coming into that game. We seen that video when he was going crazy. He ready to come in that game and ball out. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Lions today. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't
be neither, but it's like, I don't know, because the Lions, it's been a long time for them. and for them to be hosting
They need.
a
I would say this:
divisional round game at
The
home.
Lions need this more than the
win.
Lions need more than the Bucks. The Lions need this more.
They need to win.
They do.
They need to win. And that's how we're going to finish it off talking about these playoff games we got today. And we got some special divisional round games today. As we're talking about it, who do we have? Lions or the Buccaneers? I'm going to start first. I have the Lions. They got to win like Devin said. You've been here. This is your first time winning a playoff game. It's the first time in winning your division. And when the last time they ever even got to the Super Bowl, and it's never. I'm gonna put never. Yeah, never. When it did 1954, I don't even think that was a Super Bowl era.
No,
that not even. Y'all didn't get to the championship Super, so it don't count. It don't count.
67 was
this now. It counts. Now, Devin, who we got in this game?
I got the Lions. I believe the Lions. Jared Goff. He's been in the playoffs with the Rams. He's got playoff wins. He has experience. And then you have Baker Mayfield. He done been in the playoffs. He has experience. But I'm going Jared Goff. Those running backs. St. Brown. I believe them.
So I'm on record, Devin. I think we play them to go to the Super Bowl. The winner that I think we play them to go to the Super Bowl. I do. I'm on record saying that. You can ask Dino. Now, the reason I think Detroit is because we've played Tampa before. We played them back-to-back years. They weren't particularly close games. I'll say it like this. I said this to Dino last week, and I want your input. Tampa, to me, is a good story. You got a quarterback who no one believed in coming into Tampa, taking you to the playoffs. Mike Evans. Dino says all the time that people sleep on Mike Evans.
Coming off of Tom Brady.
Tampa to me, Tampa's a great story.
8 straight seasons with 1,000 yards.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and they let him go into his last year of his contract. He gonna make some more money, at least a 3-year deal. He still got some legs left in him. I'll give it to him. Yeah, he getting up in age. He a veteran type quarterback, but when you still got consistency and you can still be on the field, and he's a big receiver. We don't have a lot of big receivers like Mike Evans. We don't have big, tall receivers. That's starting to go down. You don't got Calvin Johnsons and Randy Mosses of the world and big, tall receivers, even though A.J. Brown a little big, but you don't got no lengthy receiver out there like that. And Mike Evans is a veteran type quarterback, and he can get you yards.
You're starting
your
to get
team's got one, Dino.
Yeah. No.
I think, Dino, your team's got one.
Yeah, I mean, we got Terry, but Terry's not no tall receiver. He ain't no Calvin Johnson.
But he's
no Mike Evans.
But he's special though. I just mean like, to me, Terry McLaurin is a younger Mike Evans. Like he's always gonna make you plays, always.
No matter who his quarterback is.
So because I'm an Ohio State fan, I saw this kid at Ohio State. This kid was ridiculous.
He is right, and you're an Ohio State guy. Shout out Ohio State for Vance. Now. The special game of the game of the divisional.
Yes,
we know it every time it becomes a shootout. It's gonna be cold. People at the stand shoveling snow all day. They know they're gonna have this game today. They are prepared for it. Kansas City versus the Buffalo Bills. Here we go again in the AFC divisional round. How we want it.
So Patrick Mahomes said it best.
We were saying that. I really think they in the AFC Championship, but go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes said it best 2 years ago. We're gonna be doing this a lot. To me, this is like the new Brady-Manning rivalry. You have two guys that at any given moment can beat the hell out of one another. I get Josh Allen's 0-2 in the playoffs, but I look at it like this because again, he's my favorite quarterback. I want to ask you, Devin, because you're the AFC guy here. Josh Allen. 2021 is not the reason you lost that game. You lost a game because a coin flip went the other way with 13 seconds left in overtime. Like Josh Allen, he had the game won. I feel like this rivalry is going to be something special for a decade. I think this is just a very small sample of what's to come because these two guys are going to be so like. But I've said it: if Josh Allen does not win Buffalo Super Bowl, he failed at his job.
I think
Buffalo, if he does not win the Super Bowl, he failed. Minimum.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let Devin go
because Josh Allen he made his money a few years ago, and it's time you gotta deliver. But
He's made an AFC championship, but he lost again. He's lost to Pat, and then he lost to Pat in the divisional round the year after. Like, I mean, he's got to do it. He's my favorite quarterback,
it's kind of
enough of the excuses.
Yeah, and then like a Ravens fan like Devin, y'all should have been. You should have been in it one time. The Bills should have been in the Super Bowl at least one time. So at this point in time, y'all have been through it over and over again. This is one of the years where it's like, yo, if we don't get it done this time, there's some changes that might need to be made. Stephon Diggs ain't really been getting the ball like he should be getting the ball throughout the year. Then one time they lose, the only time they lose, he start complaining. We see him be a diva leaving the Minnesota Vikings. I can see him moved if things don't go in their way and they don't win this game and make the AFC championship.
I will say the reason that Diggs isn't getting the ball is because, as someone who watches a lot of Bills games, when you have the one thing the Bills have lacked for a long time, everyone here knows this, running game. They now have that. They have a running game. Gabe Davis is hurt. He went off in this game 2 years ago, had 4 touchdowns. That hurts you. But at the same time, when you have a running game like this, you don't really again, you're playing in Buffalo. You're not going to, if it's snowing, you're not going to throw the ball a lot anyway.
I feel like, but if you was to ask me for my pick, I believe it's the Bills because they've been here every time. It's just Patrick Mahomes in the way every time. And think about it. You keep playing the same person, you're going to beat them eventually.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah,
because he's 3-1 in the regular season. He's 0-2 in the playoffs against him.
On the diet.
So
and it seems like we all got Bills here.
So, Devin, do you think this is Josh Allen's time? What do you think?
I think today is his time. Next week, I don't think it's his time.
So you think today he gets over the hump of Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is an important game for Devin. I know you're going to be watching minute for minute for this game, see who you're going to verse in the AFC Championship. I see the Bills, like Devin said, taking this way. You've been against them so many times. You should have been in the Super Bowl so many times. You got the talent to do it. You got James Cook, running back, to do it. You got the quarterback who can run with his feet. And like I said last stream, I think I talked about this with this Vance at least last stream a couple streams ago. Josh Allen needs to run with his feet, just like how Lamar Jackson. You see Lamar Jackson going for 100 yards rushing or 150 rushing, 150 rushing. Use your legs, bro. You got it. You a bulldozer. You sturdy. Most of the time you taking contact, you're not getting injured that much. It's cold out there. And people do not want to hit when it's cold out there. You don't even want to catch when it's cold out there. It's freezing cold.
That's why I said give the ball to James Cook, because as much as Josh Allen can run, and he'll run you over, he's not paid to run. James Cook is paid to run.
Yeah.
I think, my example with that is look at him against the Cowboys. They blew him out. So my last one before we go here, I wanted to ask you guys is, what do we have? Do you think either of these games are going to be do you think they'll be, what do we have for scores, I guess?
All right, so I'll start here with the Buccaneers-Lions game. I think the Buccaneers have came to their point. I think the Lions end up beating them out by a margin, at least 2 touchdowns. I think the Lions not run them over, but it's going to be decided by a little bit large of a factor of beating the Buccaneers. I think they had that story just like the Texans. You see what happened to the Texans, to Lamar Jackson, 34-10. You had the story, and now it's time for your ship to sink. Yeah, it's time for your ship to sink. So I think the Buccaneers, they get sent out of there. And with the big game of this week, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Bills, I could see a close overtime again. I know this might surprise y'all. It might not surprise you with the overtime they've been having, but I think it can get close. I think within 3. I think these two teams, it might be a low scoring, like just what happened 21-24 in your games, Vance. It's cold out there, but I think it'll be a low scoring game. What do you think, Vance?
I think Kansas City Buffalo will be max 3 points. I think it's gonna be a 3-point game. I think Detroit, Tampa, I think will be a 10-point win for Detroit, maybe more. Because as much as I like the receivers on Tampa, Detroit's to me just a better all-around team. I don't think anyone here would argue
coaching and everything. Everything is on point. Everything. And they didn't lost so many times. You got to get tired of losing sometimes. You got to get tired of losing. They didn't went through some horrible seasons, and y'all know this.
What about you, Dave?
I got with the Lions and the Buccaneers. I believe the Lions end up winning 35. The score will be 35-19.
35-19. Okay.
Yes, and then with the Chiefs and the Bills, I believe it'll be like a defensive game, and score will be like last night, 24-21.
Offensive shootout kind of stuff at the end.
Right.
So we got close games for the Bills, and
but you have the Kansas City or the Bills winning?
Of a margin.
The Bills.
So hey, I appreciate you for coming on, Devin. It's always much love, my brother Devin. Hey, shout out to him. Just turning 21 this month on the 15th. Yeah. We turned up for Devin and Raven Flock. I hope to see y'all in the Super Bowl. Yes, sir, bro.
Yeah.
See you, bud.
All right, hey, me and Vance will be coming on. I'll drop the time either 1 p.m., 6 p.m. tomorrow. We got to talk about these Kansas City Chiefs and these Bills more. We got to talk about these Lions and these Buccaneers more coming in on your next live stream. Hit the link on the Discord below. Think Sports. If you want to put your input or your take on any breaking news out there, talk about these games in the playoffs, go play-by-play, reactive plays, hit that link and join your family down low in your community, and we can talk all day on Discord, or I will be reacting to anything on Discord. Hit that subscribe button for your guy Vance here. I thank you for your boy Vance and me here. I thank you for watching Lace 'em Up Sports Talk Show. God bless, baby.
God bless.